What's going on, everybody? I know that you're least expecting this just like I am. No, this is not something that we plan on doing all the time, but it does feel good to be back. I had this weird urge to say, I need to go live. I want to check on my people and make sure that they're doing okay. And if you're new to this space, my name is Jay Dwayne Garnett, founder and love advocate of Love is a Parable. We are a value based education organization who actually help individuals understand how values influence their decision making, influence the way they see themselves, others, and the decisions that they make. Our end goal is in our vision to bring people together in unity through love. Um, so we've been doing that for a while, which is why we haven't been live. And so the good thing about spontaneity um, is being connected with like-minded people and individuals. So I just reached out to my friend Jay Speaks, and I was like, "Hey, bro, you want to go live?" And he was crazy enough to do it with me. So I want to give Jay Speaks an opportunity to introduce himself, tell a little bit about himself, and we're just going to have a great conversation. So take it away, Jay.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Blakely. I am the founder and CEO of Jay Speaks. Jay Speaks is my YouTube platform podcast in which I interview professionals, nonprofits, business owners, and the such. And it is my mission to connect, educate, and empower the world one spotlight at a time. And it is my vision to leave a lasting impact on the world that will inspire people to think, consider, and better themselves. Far too often, I believe that we give so much airtime and so much spotlight time to the people who are already famous. um, and I truly believe that there are hardworking, motivated, talented, diligent people in our communities who are making a huge impact within their respective communities, within the people that they serve. And that's how I came across Jay through a mutual connection, through a mutual friend who's also doing numbers within the community. Ed Dudley, thank you so much if you're hearing this. Thank you, Ed. But yes, I've been doing that. This will be my second year come June. And yeah, I've been enjoying the ride. I've been enjoying the people that I've been meeting. I've been enjoying making an impact. I've been enjoying making videos. This is definitely something that is new to me, will probably always be new to me. I went to school for chemical engineering. I did not go to school for videography or any of this stuff that I am interested in now. So I'm learning as I'm going in front of the public eye, and I'm enjoying it every step of the way. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. You're muted, Jay.
I'm sorry. I find it so interesting that we do things like um, go to school for one thing, but it's like passion, purpose, dream, something calls us to something else. Do you remember when you felt that nudge, if you will, to go towards like, I know I went to school for this, but this telling of people's stories and doing this podcast, do you remember that moment where you said, I think I'm going to do this?
Uh, Great question. I always had a passion for English. I've always had a passion for journalism. I was somebody who would write. I would make up stories. What I used to do, actually, when I was very young, I used to have like these all-out action figure fights. I would have Batman, Spider-Man, Legos, even chess pieces, Pokemon toys, the whole nine. I mean, just anything that I can grab my hands on. And I would just have like these elaborate fights with uh, blocks, building blocks, race cars, what have you. And of course, it would always be like a cleanup time when would have to put my toys away. And what I used to do was I used to write like a debriefing or a summary of what happened. And so that when I would come back to my play set the next day or whenever I got the opportunity, I would read that and I would set up the pieces or set up the toys where they were as messy as I left them. And then I would commence fight all over again. And then that led to just writing just imaginative stories. I used to have a lot of fun with that. I had an English teacher in high school who was really open and willing to assigning us assignments that just forced us or allowed us to use our imagination. And I actually started to like that, just making up plots, making up stories, making up characters. So that got me into like the writing, journalism, creativity space. I knew I had a knack for journalism or English when I was in college, freshman year. Like I said, I went to school for chemical engineering, but I actually was granted a full ride scholarship to my university, Howard University, if I was to change my major to English. And that was second semester freshman year. And that's when I knew, you know, there's something a little bit deeper about this English passion. There's something a little bit deeper about this journalism passion. I talked to my parents about it. I asked for their blessings or their consideration as if I should make this transition. And they said, you made up your mind when you were a junior, senior in high school to carry out chemical engineering or go to college for chemical engineering. Um, you should do that. Don't let anybody sway your path. Don't let anybody, determine or reshape your trajectory as to why you wanted to come to school. So still do chemical engineering, but dibble and dabble in that passion over time, and see where that leads you. And I wouldn't say that I dibbled and dabbled in it in college because I was so focused on graduating. But when I graduated college, that passion never left. And I always had it in me to have some sort of outlet, but I just never knew when to start. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know how to start. I'm not a tech savvy guy at all. Um, but one thing led to another, and this just happened. It's funny. I don't want to talk the whole time, but it just happened. And then when I saw the opportunity, I just held my foot on the gas and just see where this would take me.
Well, no, I'm glad that you did, because I think that sometimes one of the things that we used to talk about often is a lot of us are at places where we kind of are in like hanging in balance between who we are expected to be and who we were created to be.
Yes.
And you give great context to that story right now. Like, on one hand, I'm called to do this, or I'm created to do this, but I feel like I'm expected to do that. And I feel like a lot of us go through that. For me, I think that that was a constant struggle of always trying to pick that one thing and stay committed to that one thing for a lifetime. And I don't think that I could be just committed to one thing. There's so many things that I'm great at, so many things that I like doing, but there's not one thing I want to do all the time. And I think the only one thing that I would want to do all the time is be organically me, but not necessarily say, do I want to write every day? Absolutely not. Do I want to speak every day? Absolutely not. Do I want to draw every day? But I do want to create something, but I want to be able to do that fluidly. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I don't want the expectation and the pressure to force me to decide.
Right.
And
Right.
I feel like we're in a society where we're being forced to decide what to do when we're so fluid. It's so many things that we can do as individuals, and I feel like we don't give enough space to that, you know.
Mhm. Absolutely. And that's what I mean, that's what entrepreneurship affords.
Mhm.
But it's not easy. Like, of course, like what you're talking about right now, having the freedom to decide and having the freedom to choose what you want to do and how you want to do it. That's step one. Step two is executing and doing it consistently. And to have that accountability on your shoulders day in and day out, because it's not a easy road. It could push people back into that cookie cutter mindset of trying to fit in because that is easier. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I definitely agree with that. That trying to fit in.
It comes with a cost. It comes with a cost.
Exactly.
Have the freedom to choose and to be who you want to be, and do things how you want to do. Congratulations, great. You have your mindset on it. You have a mission, you have a vision, you have a direction. Great. Now you got to build it. You have to own it. You have to produce it. And that's a lot. And that's why people are stuck in the dreaming phase, because it's easy to dream and it's easy to imagine what it would be like to be in that type of setting. But when it comes time to, rolling up your sleeves and doing something day in and day out with probably no immediate results or any foreseeable success, that's tough. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine.
So when people weigh the options, okay, I've been working at this job for X amount of years and it's been providing me this consistently without without me having to change anything about me or change anything about my lifestyle, or I do this and go into the unknown where I don't know how I'm going to juggle this, even though I'm passionate about it. I'm going to stay here and just keep dreaming because it's a little bit more comfortable. So,
And I will say, my faith leads me in a lot of my decisions, and a lot of people talk about going into the unknown. And I find it so interesting how many people are afraid of the unknown, but say that they have the faith. And it's like, it takes faith to have faith. And going into the unknown is what it's all about, because let's be honest, what are we doing with what we've known so far? Where has what we've known has gotten us? Whereas there's so much that we have yet to explore that is so unknown. And we should give ourselves an opportunity to explore that. Give us an opportunity to learn. It's not necessarily about making mistakes. It's not about fumbling as much as it's about birthing and experiencing. And I think a lot of us rob ourselves of those opportunities just to create, just to be, just to exist as creations creating. And I don't think we reserve that. And that requires an unknown. Everything can't be safe and calculated. Some things are going to be irresponsibly creative. And we just got to dive in it and learn. Um, Kiki Palmer said something that was so profound. She was like, one of our biggest problems is that we want to put out the perfect product. Just put it out.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just
Absolutely.
put it out.
Just put it out. Just put it out. But, and this goes back to kind of what we were talking about during our interview, comfortable. People don't want to be uncomfortable, and that's just human nature. We gravitate to what is comfortable. We gravitate to what is familiar.
Exactly.
And that will be a phenomenon of that we'll probably never understand. As I mean, we understand, but that'll be a phenomenon that will always remain consistent within human nature. People choosing comfort over divine purpose, even if they know, even if they can write it out to the T. This is what I want to do. This is my game plan. This is how I would do it. So do it. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and then there's a little bit of ego too. I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail in front of people. I don't want to look like I don't know. I don't want the world to question my intellect, to question my decision making. That's in there as well. Um, you just got to put your ego and you got to put your pride aside. You just have to.
Well,
That's
and the sad part about it is you don't want people to question you, but at the same time, you don't want to exercise the answers that are within you.
Mhm.
So you don't want nobody to question you, but you don't want to reveal the answers
Mhm.
that you have. And a lot of times people are in question because you are the answer to a lot of people's questions, but because you refuse to operate in who you are, it does leave people to wonder. Like somebody might be sitting around now talking about, I know I ain't crazy. And you're the one that can give them the stability that they need. But because you are afraid to be you, you are afraid to shine, which means you're not giving your brilliance, which means somebody else, including yourself, is lacking the ability to be brilliant because you're not providing the brilliance.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna switch it up just a little bit, okay, Jay?
Mhm.
You need a minute to blow your nose.
You're good. You're good.
I done muted you so you can go ahead and blow away. Look, the seasons are changing, the allergies are hitting people. So I understand this is just about being real because that's what happens sometimes. So what I'm gonna do, because I wanted to do this as kind of like a post check to check on individuals to see how everybody is going. So I'm just gonna ask you a series of questions just to see how you're doing. You ready?
Yeah, sure, sure, sure.
The first question is, and while I'm asking him this question, you're welcome to answer wherever you are. I know we got some people on Instagram, some people on YouTube, some people on Facebook and LinkedIn. Wherever you are, you're more than happy to answer and join into the conversation. So, Jay, first
Yeah.
question.
Mhm.
How have you been lately? Physically, emotionally, and mentally?
Great. Phenomenal. Truly walking in my purpose, happy about that. Um, Surrounding myself with people who I respect, who I admire, who bring me joy. My work, my passion brings me joy. I make sure that I devote minimum 2.5 hours to my body physically, either working out or walk. Well, not either working out and walking. Um, yeah. Don't get me wrong. Like, um, all that's going on in the world is chaotic, but as far as like myself and being centered in myself, I'm happy. I'm good. I hope you are the same.
Um, Mentally, I'm doing pretty good. Emotionally, I struggle just a little bit. I'm on the rebound of recovering just some dramatic things. Living life post divorce, single life, single parent life. So navigating through that does weigh on me, and in fact, I think that did cause some physical challenges, which I am working through now. So I'm getting the physical together. Middle ground emotionally and mentally. I'm more top tier, but I am balancing all of those things together right now. And
Good.
I want to let people know it's perfectly okay to be okay, to not be okay.
Yes.
But it's not okay to ever fake like you're okay just to appear to be okay when you're not okay.
Takes way too
Um,
much energy
exactly.
to fake it. It just takes way too much energy. And
So
honestly,
now,
if you're not okay and you just show that you're not okay, that takes less energy than being okay and then acting like you're happy.
right. Look, the comic herself. Hey, Ashley. Do you know Ashley?
Oh, Ashley, yeah, 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 yeah. Absolutely, I know Ashley.
She was on your show, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I interviewed her. Absolutely, absolutely.
Hey, Ashley. Ashley has literally become a great friend of mine as well. She hosted a comedy show that we did with our friends Kelly and Wayne Wildham.
Mhm.
And from there, we've just remained in contact and being just great friends. So, hey, Ashley. So, next question, because we talked about weighing, so it's perfectly. Is there anything in your life that's weighing on you right now? Ooh.
Weighing on me? Um, I would say weighing. That's a heavy word. I don't know about weighing, but um, I guess my future with Jay Speaks. that's been weighing on me. I mean, this that's been on my mind. That's been on my mind. Where is this going? I'm trying to take your advice and like relinquish control and just go with the flow and just keep doing just as long as I put my best foot forward and do my best work with my passion, just let it speak for itself. But in the back of my mind, I am thinking like, what's the direction with this? Where is this going? I know I'm going forward, but I feel like I'm going forward in like in a fog, if that makes sense.
And I definitely can agree with that because I feel like I'm the same way when it comes to Love is a Parable. There have been so many times we were extremely close, but at the same time, um, it feel like I'm so far. And
Mm,
what's weighing on me is Love is a Parable is that one thing for me that I know that I know that I know that I know that I was purposed to do. But even though I was purposed to do, I'm wondering if it will transition into my livelihood, which I would really like. And I've been fortunate to work for several different organizations, partner with so many organizations, but have, but I wonder what that would feel like to be completely free to do what I was purposed to do without question, without hesitation, without need,
yes.
just to freely flow in that. And so that weighs on me, especially as I'm starting to get older. Um, my livelihood, but also my fulfillment of my life is one of those things that I just constantly think about. And I don't want to live my life no more compromised. I
Mm,
want to live uncompromised and completely happy doing and fulfilled doing what I was purposed to do.
yes. And that's where I am right now. You said it better than I did. When I talked about direction, no, 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 no. I'm giving credit where credit's due. When I was talking
Uh-huh.
about direction, I was referring to that without saying it. But yeah,
Hmm.
same thing. I want to do this around the clock, 24/7. I want this just to be the only thing that I worry about.
Ashley said Jay took her favorite headshot. I don't know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it was at a shakes. It was at a comedy event. Hmm.
Oh, you took it. You,
Yeah.
Jay, that Jay. Oh, got it. Okay. When it's two J's on the screen, you got to make it make sense.
Yeah.
That got kind of deep on that question. And I guess you can kind of answer this one because this one seems fairly simple. Okay. What's
Yeah.
been giving you energy these days?
Jay speaks. Um, Although it's weighing on me of what we just talked about, making this into my life's true and only endeavor, I have been enjoying the journey. That's why I say it's like weighing is a little bit of a tough word because it's not like so much on my mind that it is impacting or affecting the journey. I'm still enjoying the journey. Um, like I said, in fact, what it's been giving me energy, it's been giving me happiness. Posting content and the people who I interview are receptive. They're liking it. They're happy about it. They're happy with it. People excited to be interviewed. I know that you were excited to be interviewed. It's so that being around that on a weekly basis definitely does something to my psyche. It gives me energy. When people are counting on me to perform in a way that will showcase them in a good light, I take that seriously and that gives me energy. A lot of people will be like, "Oh, that's a lot of pressure," but it's not pressure for me because I know what I'm capable of and I just like to slap a smile on somebody's face. I'm happy Ashley likes her picture. I'm happy that you were excited about your upcoming episode. I'm telling you, man, that teaser is going to be tough. Your
Yeah, and
episode,
I'm trying so hard not to talk about it, but kind of going to what you were saying though, it's different when it's something that you're purposed to do. It
yeah,
doesn't drain you like stuff that you enjoy to do. It's a little different. When I'm purposed to do it, it replenishes me. But when I enjoy to do it, I feel like I'm exerting energy more. Um, But when I purpose to do it, it doesn't ever feel like work. And I find myself a lot of times getting lost in it. And that's how I feel about Love is a Parable. Like when I'm talking about those values, and even in the interview, when we start talking about what it is that we do, the way that we think, the way that we do things, it gives me more energy.
Right.
And so when, and I wanted to separate that because when we talk about Wayne, the Wayne part is, why can't I do this all the time? Like when I go do a training or when I go speak, I'm like, why can't I do this all the time? This is what I live to do. And then it's like, I got to come back to reality. That's draining.
Yeah.
That's frustrating. Thinking about the things that I have to do until what I'm purposed to do makes way.
Yes.
And we got some people coming on. We got Elder Mike Jackson, all the way from California. Is it Modesto, California? Or is it San Francisco, California? I'm sorry, Mike. Tell me where you are. What's going on? So let me tell you this. This is another person while we're sitting here talking that you should get on your podcast to interview. Lenore Dawson Lassiter is like an amazing person overall. I love her and her entire family. But she does a lot with career development, career readiness, women empowerment. She even does a conference called Sister Pour Into Me. And she just does a lot of great things. So she is definitely one person to know or connect with. So Lenore, you can send him a friend request, or if not, I can give him your information so that way you guys can connect with one another. And so another thing, and she'll tell you this, like when we started this podcast, the whole purpose of the podcast was to help bridge all the different family that Love is a Parable has accumulated together. So we always can network and always come together because we need each other. There's so many things out there that separate us. It feels good to have something that can connect us and bring us together. So Mike said he is in Modesto. Yep. Love you too. And so this is her website. And guys, anybody, if you're looking out there looking for career development, if you're looking for that leadership development, you're looking for personal development. I mean, the amount of work that Lenora has done and put into her craft, is unsurmountable. Like, you know how we work, Jay? Like, I'm working on these reels, I'm working on this, and we're constantly working, feel like around the clock. She does the same thing. Like, she has reflection journals. She has so many different things. Not only does she have a great book that talks about what she faced dealing with colorism, she still has this amazing outlook on how one can still succeed. And she has the books, the literature, the material, and all of that. And so she is available for booking. So y'all make sure y'all check her out. Go to her website and make sure that you have it. That's LenoreLassiter.com. And then if you guys want to connect with her, make sure you reach out and connect with her as well. Sorry to get on that soapbox.
Oh, no, not a problem. Thank you guys for joining.
Yep. So it's not so much Love is a Parable is giving me energy as much as I'm giving energy to Love is a Parable, as much as Love is a Parable is giving me energy, if that makes sense.
Please explain.
Well, because I'm not giving Love is a Parable energy because that's my purpose. By me doing my purpose gives me energy.
All right. Well said. Well said.
Okay, here's one. This is the kind of fun one. What's something you've learned about yourself that has surprised you so far this year?
I have to, like, it's a must for me to write out my day the day before I flow into that day.
Wow.
Because my brain and all the things that are on my mind are just going bonkers, like all over the place. Like, I need to go to sleep. Before I go to sleep, I have, I mean, this is not my bed, but I have Post-its and stuff all over because I'm always walking around my place, writing stuff down. I write down every single thing. Like, sorry.
Mhm.
From, what am I going to do in the morning? Okay, go to the gym at this time, walk at this time, come back, breakfast at this time, work on this. While I'm working on this, do this, like I gotta write everything down the day before so that when I wake up with a fresh mind, I look at that post-it note, I look at that little short list, and I just stay organized, and it's just tunnel vision throughout the whole entire day. And that's when I'm my most effective. Like if I go to sleep casually and I wake up, I will find myself staying in bed for 2 hours, especially like on a weekend,
Mm.
just 2 hours just scrolling. Like there's no urgency.
Listen, them 2 hours be helping. I wish I could stay in bed for 2 hours. You're gonna appreciate them things if you ever decide to have a family and all of that good stuff. You're gonna be like, "Oh, give me those 2 hours."
No, but it's just like that. But that goes back to what we were talking about. What we were talking about is what's weighing on us.
Mhm.
And in order for me to make that a reality, or to make sure that that is no longer weighing on me, or um, where my passion lies for me is no longer weighing for me, I gotta take these days seriously. Um, what is it? What is the saying? I forgot the saying, but gosh, I forgot the saying. But essentially, yeah, like I have to live like this, or I believe that I have to live like this in order for me to make my dreams reality. Thank you, Ashley. Yes, to be intentional, but there was something else. It was like something about urgency. Um, but yeah, so hey, it works for me. I feel as though
Yeah.
what makes me go to sleep at night better is just knowing that I've accomplished my day. Like every single day, I'm just scratching things off of my list, just little bit by little. Like that is so fulfilling to me. Like I set a plan, I did what I had to do. I can go to sleep knowing that I fulfilled the whole entire day. And I can sleep well, and I just do the same thing the next day, do the same thing the next day, do the same thing the next day. So, but yeah.
And I guess the thing that I've learned, I guess, about myself this year is I don't know. I think I'm reprogramming a lot, and it's really around, fatherhood and wanting to know if I'm doing a great job. And so, one of my daughters sent me a text today, and just told me, she was like, basically that I'm doing a good job. And that's the thing. Like, I didn't know. Like, you try your best, but I didn't know if I was doing a good job or not. And I struggle with that now because I was so used to being partnered, being in a relationship, being married, that I didn't know if I can hold both sides. And sometimes I feel like I'm not doing as great as I could do. Or there's that thing like I wish I could do more. So just for there to be a pause and to say, yes, you are, that helped me so much. Because I struggle with that. It's amazing how much confidence I had prior to that, to now when it comes to my children, I'm like always on edge. Like, am I doing the best? And when I say the best, am I giving my best? Am I doing my best? Is it leading to better outcomes and all of that? And so that reassurance that comes from your offspring has really been helping me, um, because it gives me the drive. I say this a lot. You never know where the fruits or the harvest of the seeds that you plant. A lot of times when we talk about harvest, people think the harvest is going to come directly from the way that you planted things, like meaning, in a natural order of things, if I put a watermelon in the ground, I should expect a watermelon to produce. Well, good is a little different. If you sow good into the world, you don't know how that good is going to come back. That good could come back financially. That good a lot of times come back in great people. You know, that good could come back in, some people that are not great for you exiting out of your life. So it's just been reassuring for me that the good that I've sown in this world is coming back. Sometimes I wish it would come back like financially, so I could have more, but it just feels good to know that good is coming back one way or another. And then it's kind of enjoyable to not know which way it's going to come back, just knowing that it is going to come.
Absolutely. And also just to piggyback on what you said, when it comes to fatherhood, when it comes to Love is a Parable, even when it comes to Jay Speaks, we don't do what we do for applause, but it does feel good to feel appreciated. That's not our
Amen to that.
that's not our main intention. Like when we're not doing this so that you can um, you know, stroke our ego, but just like hey, you're doing a good job, you're doing a good job as a father, you're helping people, like who doesn't want to hear feedback, positive feedback, um, concerning something that you're passionate about. You're passionate about your daughters, you're passionate about Love is a Parable. I mean, who doesn't want to feedback? But yeah, but I'm glad I saw that screenshot on Facebook. I did see that.
Thank you. Look, Cordell is on. Look, when we were doing the podcast, Cordell was my co-host. He's probably was in the gym, but hey, bro. So he's on, and we actually shot our interview at Cordell's spot.
We sure did.
Um, a lot of times people talk about safe spaces and places to be, and having Cordell, as one of my best friends, and his spot has been a lot of times a place that I've went to cry, to laugh, to occasionally get a drink, but it's a place that I've always felt safe. And it felt like the appropriate place because you asked, like, where the places. And that's one of those places that I feel like I can be myself, just like in my own home. So, brother, thank you for being one of the greatest people in my life, but also thank you for providing your space for us to shoot that episode of Jay Speaks.
Thanks you, Cordell. Thank you.
What about this one? What motivates you to keep going when things get tough?
Um, what motivates me to keep going when things get tough? What motivates me to keep going is all of the positive interactions and smiles that I put on people's faces through my work. Um, and I don't want that to stop. And that, just to go back to what you were saying about your divine purpose, your purpose in life um, directly affects somebody else. When you said that, that really spoke to me. And
Mhm.
honestly, I mean, that's always been what keeps me going when things get tough, but I couldn't put that into words. But when you said that, I was like, wow, that's how I feel. Um, because through what I've been doing, through the people who I've been meeting and interviewing, I've been able to um, give people an opportunity to promote themselves, promote their business, to promote their nonprofits. A lot of the people who I've talked to have never had such an opportunity before. I've also been able to help people or introduce other people, other professionals to other professionals, other nonprofits to other nonprofits, being that community catalyst. And I truly enjoy that. And I'm just like, if I stop now, how will I be affecting the future interviewees? How will I be affecting the people who I have already interviewed? Um, so as long as I have it in me, it's going to keep going.
I agree. I don't want to be on my deathbed saying I wish.
Oh no.
I want to be on my deathbed being a celebration, saying I gave this world every single thing that I have, and I don't have anything. I want, when my expiration date comes, I want to be completely empty. Um, and that's a different piece too, because a lot of times we talk about having a peace of mind and knowing that I lived out my complete purpose is what I desire. Because sometimes it wakes me up. Like you talk about, laying in bed, which I do get. Laying in bed and feeling that urge like you got something to do is not rest anyway. I want to make sure when I lay down at night, I'm always thinking like, wow, I did an amazing job today because I released portions of me in this world. And that actually what motivates me to get through even the tough times, because it is a lot of hard days that we face. Sometimes it's a lot of bad news that we are challenged with, but knowing that the good that I sow in this world could positively affect someone else positively, but also impact me because it's reciprocal, motivates me and helps me get through my darkest days.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
It,
let's see.
it's just roundabout positive energy.
Hmm.
Roundabout positive energy.
Which kind of goes into this one. How would you like to be most remembered, Jay? I
Most
feel like we
remember.
should play a song then. Like, how would you like to be most remembered?
Someone who committed their life for the betterment of others and uplifting people. That's how I want to be remembered. And that's what I'm trying to do every single day.
Ashley said we helping her tonight. Well, good. Thank you. I agree with you. I think that I want to be remembered. And I said this before. I remember this a very long time ago. Um, when I had like one of my first probably girlfriends, and it was an opportunity to engage in, adult behavior, and I didn't want that. I was like, no, I just want to be get to know you first. And I remember her crying because she was like, nobody ever said that before. And I said, I said, well, I want to be your first to just see you as you. And that later transcended to just relationships and all, like in all areas of my life, every person that I encounter, I would like to be there first, to see them for them, to be there for them, to know that pure love really exists. And so when I leave, I want to make sure that if anybody says anything about me, they will say my name is synonymous with love. That's what I want most to be remembered by.
That's a good route that you took too. Yes, absolutely. Be someone's first in a positive way.
Hmm. Okay, got another question for you. How are you balancing your personal time with everything else that's going on in your life? Are you doing a good job?
Define personal time.
You define personal time for you.
I mean, personal time to me is taking walks in the morning, going to the gym, watching a Netflix episode or two while I eat, and scrolling on social media for probably an hour before I go to bed. That's personal time for me.
It's so funny because people talk about social media, and it's a combination of things. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
for me, it is a place where I could see how it could be personal, but it's also a place where I'm so grateful to pour into others. So I think reciprocity is what helps me maintain balance. Like no matter what it is, if I'm giving something of this world and I'm receiving at the same time, it kind of keeps me balanced. If I feel like I'm just giving and I'm not receiving, then that's when I'm kind of off kilter a bit, and
Hmm.
that tends to drain me. Look at that. We got Pastor Wayne on. Thank you. I was just gonna check on y'all to make sure y'all doing okay too. Got him on. Another great one. Him and his wife are another great one that you should meet. They got, not only do they have a church in Durham, They have an organization called At the Helm, where they do a lot of education on social justices and injustices, voter education. It's just a lot of great things that come out of him and his wife's combination too. So they are one to watch, one to get to know as well. Okay. So here's my last question. Look at us. We stayed on for about 45 minutes. Well, over 45 minutes. Now, this is not too bad for something that's impromptu, is
No,
it?
not too bad at all.
Okay. Here's the next question. Is there anything I can support you, whether it's with your goals or just to be there for you?
Uh, I feel like you've been supporting me exceptionally well as of recent. I mean, not even as of recent. Ever since I met you, some what 8 9 months ago. Whenever I text you, you're there. We have impromptu calls occasionally. We support each other on social media, on all platforms. Um, you're doing a great job as a friend. You're doing a great job as a best friend. Um, there's nothing more that I would ask of you or from you. You're doing great, and I appreciate our interview. I appreciate this impromptu live. I am looking forward to seeing you. I think what 2 weeks from now. Um, but yeah, I don't have anything in particular. No, but I mean, I can flip the question back to you. If you need anything from me, is there any way I can support you?
I'll say the biggest thing is just keep doing what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
Um, and that's for any of my friends. Like, the worst thing that you could do is stop being you and stop giving you in this world. And we kind of alluded to that even in the interview. Not only could it cost somebody their life by you not living your purpose, it will suck the life out of everybody around you if you're not doing what you're created and purpose to do.
Right.
Like, when you're happy, you get this glow, you get this excitement, and that is contagious. So even on my low day, seeing a person who is at their highest and at their best feeds so much great energy. So one of the things that I need for anybody that's connected to me to do is to be you, is to live you 1,000%, be organically you, unapologetically you. Just live and be you. Stop holding yourself in contempt and let yourself lose. It's books inside of you. It's songs inside of you. It's productions inside of you. You know what I'm saying? It's like so many different things are inside of you if you would just release those things to just be. So the best thing that you can do, and that's anybody that's connected to me, is to be you. If you want to support me, if you want to uplift me, if you want to encourage me, the only way to do that is by being you. Because you can fake motivate me, but how can you give me something that you don't have in yourself? So you'll try to motivate me, and I know that it's not coming from an organic place. That'll suck the life out of me. But if it's something that is really in you, just give it. Look, one of the other besties are on, Mr. Iconic Bond himself. You haven't met him either, huh?
No, Jay.
You got to meet all of these wonderful people, because not only does he have multiple albums out, he is just a great activist in the community, a great advocate, a love advocate, so many great things. He's taken multiple courses from Love is a Parable. He is a hip hop artist. He is the founder of one of the founders of the House of Creatives, where they have a whole nonprofit dedicated to underrepresented creatives, and they have a great show that's coming out April 18th at the Portal. So you want to make sure that you really just, that's another one to connect with. I'll make sure all these connections happen, because that's what happens a lot of times, Jay. when you connect yourself with creatives and connect yourself with light, your light becomes brighter and you illuminate in more spaces. So that means there's less darkness around you because your illumination, you know what I'm saying, radius goes lighter, goes further. And so it just feels good to have just amazing people in your circle that you can lean and glean on. So that's Mr. Iconic Bond himself right there.
Okay.
Hmm.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to those introductions.
So we done made it to the end. I just want to tell you, bro, thank you for coming on. Um, it was exciting to have you. And guys, I just wanted to do a little post check. I mean, we've been, I don't even know how many days. I don't know if we made it at 50 days into 2025. And I just wanted to check on everyone to make sure that you're okay. And so it was great to kind of have a person to have a conversation with, Jay Speaks, a brother and friend. And we went over a couple of questions, and these are questions that you can ask yourself and those that you're connected to. How have you been feeling lately, physically, emotionally, and mentally? Is there anything in life that's weighing on you right now? What's been giving you energy these days? What's something you've learned about yourself that has surprised you um, this year? What motivates you to keep going when things get tough? What would you like most to be remembered? How are you balancing your personal time with everything else that's going on in life? And the last one was, is there any way that I can support you, whether it is with your goals or just by being there? Those are things you want to even make sure that people are doing in your network. Are the people around you really supporting you? And there's a difference because that's the thing that I had to learn. There are some people who are just cheerleaders, and there's an appropriate place for cheerleaders, but we can't confuse cheerleading with support and making sure, like, wow, they pumped me up, but did they really support me? Did they lend a shoulder? Did they lend an arm? And just kind of having that balance can go far. So if you feel like, and this is something that we've always said, if you feel like there's no one in this world that cares about you and love you, you just met two people that do. And if you connect with us at Love is a Parable, there's a whole village, a whole community of individuals who are there just waiting to love on you, to support you, to guide you. If you want to learn more about my brother Jay Speaks and his amazing podcast, I encourage you, I admonish you to get over to aboutjayspeaks.com. Hear the amazing stories, not only from all of the amazing guests that he's had, but see a person who is driven by passion and motivation. And I hope by you seeing a person who is driven by passion and motivation and purpose will inspire you to do the very things that you are created and purposed to do. Okay?
Thank you, Jay.
So no problem. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and end. Jay Speaks, you can lay back. Everybody else, we will see you when we see you, because I ain't gonna make no promises talking about I'll be back next Tuesday and you mad. But we will see you when we see you, and we love you guys.